Q, good to be with you. It feels a bit like a news desk, doesn't it?
It does. I feel like I'm in the spotlight here with these lights, Michael, so it's a bit of fun.
The nightly news, you doing the news or the weather?
Oh, definitely not the weather, because it is very hot on the Gold Coast today, and it's probably, like you said, one of the hottest days I've felt in a while.
I've been here nearly 4 years. I walked outside of the office just then to get some lunch with you, and I just got hit hard. It is heating up.
It is
heating up.
It is.
You know what else is heating up? We're not just saying it because it's the new year, early 2025, but the property market actually is, funnily enough, in certain pockets.
Yep.
Not everywhere.
Yep.
Obviously, depressed markets like Melbourne and Sydney's come off the boil. Easy to when the numbers are as high as they are in Sydney. But in certain areas that we're looking in, parts of New South Wales and obviously southeast Queensland, the demand is strong, isn't it?
It is. And
I really wanted to theme today's chat here at our news desk. I wanted to theme it, perception is reality. Perception is actually reality. When people perceive something to happen, they factor that into their expectation, they factor that into their thinking, and they factor that into what they actually do. Now, people, community, the whole of Australia, through the media and the rhetoric from the Reserve Bank, we are expecting interest rates to drop at some point this year. Is that fair?
We are.
It might be February, it might be May, but we absolutely are thinking that interest rates will drop. Now, that perception, it's not actually reality yet, but that perception actually is reality, because now people are coming to us saying, hey, Q and team at Propell, can you get us in to an investment property before rates drop and before prices go up, aren't they?
100%. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are predicting February as their change of interest rates.
Next month. It's like 10 days away.
10 days, yeah. And then obviously you've got banks that have moved and changed their position from saying mid-year to now February. And we've touched on it a few times, a number of businesses in trouble. Yeah,
I mean, business foreclosures or bankruptcies are up 50% from last year. It's a factor. You know, small business is a huge part of you don't like hearing it, but it's a huge part of the Australian economy.
Exactly.
Mums and dads running their own businesses. So I feel like the Reserve Bank's got to step in. But look, we can't control that. We can only control what's up in between our ears.
Yeah.
And tell us what you think is going to happen then if and when they do drop rates.
Well, I guess I've just got to go on the data that we've had and what we've experienced over the last 12 months with interest rates going up. You know, obviously we've seen a massive increase in demand in property, whether it's first home buyers, owner-occupier or investors. Now, property prices have been going up, rates have been going up, things have been tight. You know,
it's actually been the reverse of what normally happens.
Exactly.
Normally interest rates go up, property prices come off a little bit. It hasn't happened. Well, so what's going to happen when interest rates come down?
That's exactly right. So if you use the data that we've seen, naturally it should increase demand, which means, you know, supply is going to be under pressure again.
Which it already is.
So
we cross lower interest rates with already tight supply.
Correct.
What is that going to mean for the Australian housing market?
Well, yeah, I think especially southeast Queensland, you know, with population growth, you know, with infrastructure, all that sort of stuff coming in here, there's already a good reason to buy in southeast Queensland. If you can afford to buy a property, you should be buying property. So essentially, when those rates come down, it means that there's more people that come in the market.
More borrowing capacity?
Their serviceability gets better. They can afford a little bit more.
They can.
So, yeah, people still need to be able to service the debt.
Yep.
And obviously, it's about how do they control that debt. But ultimately, they, you know, if people can afford more money or they have the option to now buy property, we're going to see, you know, a few more people in the market, which naturally is going to put prices, you know, on a trajectory upwards.
Yes.
As well as, you know, demand on that stock again. So, you know, that's where I guess people have engaged us over the last 12 months because they haven't been able to find the right deal or they have missed out on the deals or whatever it may be. So being able to execute for so many clients last year and secure them those opportunities. And we've seen it in the first half of this year. We've done some amazing things in this first half of this year and you know, we haven't even started. You know? So when rates come down, I do predict that
first half of the financial year, which we've just ticked over to halfway. We've only got 5 months left of this financial year.
Exactly.
Which is going to be a very interesting 5 months where rates come down. I think the overarching thing here is the lack of supply in Australia. It's huge. We're hugely lacking in supply. Hangover from COVID. Not enough investment properties getting built. Everyone shat themselves through COVID and didn't build anything. We had Scott Morrison's 25k home builder grant, but that was for only
and put stress on another level.
That was only for owner occupiers. Then builders have gone down, so we haven't got enough new dwellings on the ground in Australia. That combined with interest rates coming down, I believe 2025 is going to be a perfect storm. Myself, yourself, a lot of other savvy people in the game are buying as many properties as they possibly can right now, investment properties, good debt, because we can see that uplift's going to happen with the lowering of rates and the already tight supply.
Yeah, and I guess, the press is obviously, I call it propaganda. They try and control the mentality and the market with what they release. And essentially, they've started to release, end of last year, their prices were going down. Well, when you think how much prices have risen, and if they do drop 0.1%, well, they're still up, aren't they? Like, even if it's 0.1%, and it's up again, apparently.
It's either a mad celebration that property prices have gone up, or it's a car crash. Yeah. It's never anything in between. And the reality of it is, good, safe, solid investing will give you something in between. Exactly. It's not going to be 100% per year growth. It's not going to be a car crash. If you can get 7, 10, 15% growth from your property portfolio, highly leveraged, income-producing, tax-effective investment property portfolio that washes its own face, it probably will double over a 10 to 15-year period, and your retirement's going to be a lot easier.
And I get, ultimately, anyone can go buy a property, but it's where is that property,
Of the thousands of different suburbs and localities and towns around Australia, where is the right spot for you to buy based off your specific situation?
Exactly. And so that's where I guess it's pinpointing those locations. We don't just go out and run out and buy a property. It's really there's a strategy behind it. There's some thought that's gone behind it. There's research. The numbers have to stack. The deal has to be right for that client. And the clients that have trusted us with their money and their portfolio
come back to buy again.
And so, I'm extremely proud to see what we did over the 12 months, and I see where we're going over this next 12 months, and I feel like there's a lot to look forward to. Look, at the end of the day, we don't have a crystal ball, but the data is there.
Yes.
And the research is there, and that's what we rely on.
Last time I checked, Q, property wasn't going out of fashion.
No, it's not.
I know some of the things in my wardrobe are going out of fashion, but property isn't.
And avocado and toast is still on the menu. So,
well, we need to eat and we need somewhere to live. No, thank you, Q. You mentioned one thing I'll finish on.
Yep.
You mentioned debt before. We talk about good debt and bad debt. It is not the amount of debt that you have. It is your ability to control that debt. And nearly all of the wealthy people in the world have debt. Business debt, good debt, property debt, whatever that is. It's your ability to control the debt. Yep. It's not the amount of debt to be scared of. And I just want to have all due respect to our parents and grandparents, but the old school, buy one house, pay it off, that's finished. You can leverage off your own property, get good debt, and not having to worry about pay those ones off until you've paid your own home off. And then come retirement time, all those properties there have doubled in value or more, and you've got yourself a lot more than your super would have, because no one's got enough super these days. So
and that's, I
food
guess,
for thought.
I think that's a really good one, and I'll just finish with this, exactly what you said there. It's controlling the debt, but it's also recycling your debt. So if you've got an existing portfolio, the properties might be old, they might have run their course. So part of what we do here is we have a look at existing portfolios. We have a look at, your certain situation.
How we can improve
it. And with that debt, it's a structure. So,
that's right.
Debt recycling, controlling that debt, make sure you structure correctly so it's getting paid off correctly and as fast as possible, because essentially none of us want debt, but there's that good debt level that's income producing, tax effective, and it's also gets to a point where it's not doing that anymore for you. Yeah. So we really have to have a look at that. There's a multitude of things that we can build on with the client, whether you've got an existing portfolio, you've got 10 properties or one or none. It's essentially getting you set up correctly, but also, like you said, controlling the debt and doing it in a safe way.
Debt is good, death is bad. Keep yourself fit. Trying to lose a couple of kgs for the new year.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm back in the pool swimming. Thank you, Q, for joining us here at the News
There's
Desk.
Chief.
Here's your update from Propell Property. Have a good day.
See you. You should have like a music out of the news.
Thanks, H-Bomb.